Our family faces danger that has threatened our planet.
Has to be us.
Galactus asked too high a price. He said, give us your...
Fantastic Four, First Steps is finally here. And to put it simply, it is great. Marvel Studios' third and last film of 2025 closes out the year with a bang, bringing the foursome of beloved and important comic book characters to the big screen like never before. Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben have never looked better, and that doesn't even include an impeccably done Galactus, who looks like a planet-sized, we're sorry, for how the character was portrayed in Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. With First Steps as excellent as it is, this is only Marvel's latest, and if there's one thing Marvel Studios excels at, it's setting up future installments. No place does this better than in their famed post-credit scenes, and the first one that awaits fans at the end of the Fantastic Four. First Steps is a fantastic treat. The plot starts, astronauts Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Ben Grimm, and Johnny Storm left Earth 828 in 1960 on a mission into space, where they gained superhuman abilities from cosmic ray exposure. When they returned to Earth, they formed the superhero team known as the Fantastic Four. 4 years later, the Fantastic Four have become celebrities and are widely considered as the world's defenders. Reed and Sue tell Ben and Johnny about their pregnancy at a family meal. A few months later, the Silver Surfer emerges unexpectedly, informing the people of Earth that their planet is doomed to be destroyed by Galactus, a planet-devouring cosmic entity. After investigating numerous anomalies involving the disappearance of planets, the gang decides to return to space and negotiate Earth's fate with Galactus. Tracking the Silver Surfer's energy signature to a distant star system, they land on a planet that is promptly devastated by Galactus spacecraft, and the team is captured. Galactus offers to save Earth in exchange for Reed and Sue's unborn child, causing Sue to go into labor. The team refuses and escapes from Galactus and the Silver Surfer using the gravity of a black hole. Sue gives birth to her son, Franklin Richards. While flying back to Earth, after a terrible press conference, the public turns against the team, blaming them for Galactus' impending arrival. Sue, holding Franklin in her arms, declares to the audience that they will do everything it takes to destroy Galactus, recovering public faith. Reed creates a network of standing teleportation bridges to take Earth away from Galactus' reach, burying it in a faraway galaxy many light years away. The Silver Surfer destroys them as they begin to activate the bridges. Johnny prevents her from reaching the last bridge in Times Square, and, after learning her language from their initial encounter and researching deep space transmissions, identifies her as Shalabal, who willingly became Galactus' herald to save her own world. Zenla from extinction. Shalabal departs in grief after hearing the death words of the planets to which she had taken Galactus. Using Franklin as bait, the gang intends to draw Galactus to the Times Square Bridge and teleport him away from Earth, while negotiating with Harvey Elder to evacuate New York residents to his underground city of Subterranea. The scheme fails, as Galactus abducts Franklin from the team's headquarters, the Baxter Building. Sue forces Galactus into the vortex with her shield-generating abilities, while Reed saves Franklin. When Sue begins to fail from overexertion, Johnny prepared to sacrifice himself to give Galactus one last shove into the vortex. Shalabel had a change of heart and stops him by sacrificing herself, knocking Galactus into the vortex and teleporting them both away. Reed, Ben, and Johnny recover Sue, who appears to have died after exhausting her abilities. However, when Reed places Franklin on her chest, his newly awakened powers revive her. Following the victory, the team is congratulated. 4 years later, Sue reads to Franklin in the living room of the Baxter Building. After briefly leaving the area, she returns to see a green-cloaked figure with a metal mask interacting with Franklin. Let's be honest, you didn't really believe he wouldn't turn up here, right? Yes, director Matt Shakman attempted to make it appear that Dr. Doom would not be a part of the Fantastic Four. First Steps, which is technically correct for the most part, despite the fact that Doom's fictitious home country of Latveria has one of the few empty seats in the United Nations. He mostly ignores his most despised enemy's latest big-screen adventure until the mid-credits scene. The major events of the film take place 4 years after the Fantastic Four gain their powers, whereas the mid-credits scene in First Steps picks up 4 years after the team defeats Galactus. Young Franklin Richards is maturing and learning at a quick pace, much to the satisfaction of Sue and the family's beloved robot companion Herbie, who fortunately survived his brief encounter with the planet-eating Celestial. When Sue leaves to get Franklin a new book, she returns to find a hooded stranger conversing with her kid. If the dark green hood wasn't enough to reveal who this enigmatic guy is, the metallic mask he carries in his hand almost certainly confirms it's Victor Von Doom. Despite the earlier mention of Latveria, it is never officially stated whether this version of the Fantastic Four already has a history with Doctor Doom. In fact, it's unclear whether this is Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of the role. Given his face is never shown, it may be one of the Mad Genius's famed Doombots for all we know. But the fact that the figure removes his mask upon greeting Franklin suggests we'll see RDJ's scarred face at some point. The most significant wrinkle here appears to be that Doom is aware of Franklin Richards' power and is likely seeking to harness some of it for himself. While Marvel allows viewers to contemplate Doctor Doom's first official appearance in the MCU, the Fantastic Four First Step's second and final credits scene is more comic. Having saying that, there are still plenty of delights for die-hard comic lovers to enjoy. As shown throughout the film, the Fantastic Four had been heroes for 4 years, so they've had their fair share of international renown and tangled with a few baddies. We do get to spend some time with Mole Man, however. The segment at the end of the film, styled as an old-school introduction to a 60s-inspired animated series, does show off more than a few of the team's rivals. Not only do Mole Man and Red Ghost appear throughout the catchy theme song, but there are also some deep-cut cameos from iconic comic book villains, such as Dragon Man and the Wizard. There's also a scene where the squad faces a purplish-pink robot that resembles a Sentinel, which could be a clue of the team's future meetup with the X-Men and the highly anticipated Avengers. Doomsday.